In whole life, we focus on the person and what their current needs are. This is done in an individual way, putting the individual's needs, experience and journey at the centre of everything we do. The individual drives the focus of how services are delivered, rather than creating services that an individual has to fit into. And once again, this depends greatly on how we as individuals, clinicians and services think about mental illness and about the people who experience it.
One example of thinking differently is the work that we do here at the Eden Project, which was a joint partnership between the Eden Project, Cornwall College and ourselves at Cornwall Partnership Trust, where we facilitate a horticulture course, and also the people enrolled on the course have the opportunity to be volunteers at Eden. So they gain the work experience whilst also gaining a qualification. And one of the benefits that we've seen from that is a young lad who, when he started the course, couldn't make eye contact with us, wouldn't go down for lunch with the others. He was kind of sat in the corner away from everyone. 2 months later, he's now coming in before the start of the course in the mornings. He's working with the green team at Eden in the biomes, starting at 7:30 in the morning. And he's chatting away to everyone. He's saying hello to you when you walk in the room. It's just a fantastic difference that's seen in him, and the self-belief and self-confidence that he's gained from this course has been absolutely amazing.
I do think that if we seriously want not to segregate people, which I think is perhaps the best way of putting it, then we need to be offering people supports and services as close to those which everybody else would use, irrespective of whether they had a mental health problem or not, rather than actually designing specialist supports and services on an assumption that they'll need particular specialist handling because you've had a mental health problem. And I think that in the past has led to people drifting further and further away and losing more and more confidence in themselves as being able to manage in the ordinary world.
I think the key message from me is not just listening and acting on the voice of people that need services, but it's actually really delivering a flexible service around individual needs. And that's a real challenge for us. And for me, that's going to be about social transformation. It's about integrated health, social care and support systems, all done in partnership.
In terms of the last 4 years, I think there has been a change. If I look back to how we approached recruiting our chief executive 4 years ago, it's completely different to the approach 6 months ago in terms of involving service users in the process, them having a say. And for me, thinking about how powerful it was having a service user ask the question about whole life and how could the chief executive ensure that they would make sure that it was the way we delivered services in Cornwall.
I'd really like the organisation to think of itself and to behave like a cooperative. A cooperative is where we will be really accountable to local people. But those people who either are interested or are using our services or providing the services as members of staff, paid members of staff, they are going to be equal in really wanting to see this organisation succeed. They will be shareholders. They'll want to put something in and have every right to take something out. I think the biggest risk to really taking on the whole life approach now is some of the things that are going on in the external environment. The fear of failure, the high level of risk that is associated with danger and with the desire to keep avoiding danger, with the need to achieve financial balance all of the time. But there isn't a need for that to be a big risk or something that gets in the way and stops this from working, because I can't quite see how you can separate that from the inherent humanness of the whole life approach. In fact, it's the complete opposite. If we could invest in it and invest in it properly, we could see safer communities. We could have engaged the public in how they properly use the resource and call us to account for using their finances, their taxes, in a way that is not just top-down. I think actually the whole life approach if people had the courage to properly investigate it and understand it, might very well provide some of the answers to the problems that are being pushed down rather hard from on high.
This DVD has hopefully provided insight into some of the compelling reasons for seeing beyond traditional ways of thinking. I hope we can reflect on our day-to-day practice and the part we can all play in order to change the thinking, change the practice, change the system.